Okay, everybody. Woohoo! Go Pokes. Man, you want to talk about a ball game sucking the life out of you. That last weekend. Oh, that was just, I don't know. I need a break. I need this bye week. Probably, I may need this bye week worse than the football team. Look, football team needs it. You got some key areas. Both lines, O line and D line, both banged up a bit. I'm sure they could all use a break, especially after Gundy says, "Oh, maybe I worked him too hard." Yeah, right. I'll believe that when somebody fesses up to it, says something. Um, but ugh, ah, that was just awful. So I'm going to talk about it a little bit. Then we'll talk about an extremely light schedule. Now, this is a little early in the week. I've got a little bit of a busy week going here with work, stuff going on at the end of the week. So I'll hang on to this. I know I was remiss. I didn't really get a picks from Joe's in last week. I was on the road, which is good because I would have been positive, and about OSU winning in Lubbock. And yeah, God. Anyway, so let's talk about the game. Oh, well, listen, before I get into that, I just want to give a shout out to everybody I saw the weekend before at in Stillwater at the K-State game. Had just a great time, just a fantastic time at a couple of the tailgates. Met an institution, Mr. Orange Power, and my God, is that jumpsuit orange? That thing is that thing hurts your eyes. Um, Cowboys Ride for Free. Micah Allen did a lot of work to set up the tailgate. A lot of people came by. I saw some people stopped by during the rain delay during the game or during the lightning delay. So I just shout out to everybody I ran into. It was great to put some faces to the names. Uh, it just was a really, 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 really good time. And I wish honestly, I'd like to get back a couple times a year. I know living far away and everything, would love to get back a couple times a year. Just the atmosphere is great. I love that football stadium. Man, and that jumbotron is awesome. That thing is awesome. But just the atmosphere in there, that it was just great. Had a great time. Dalton Coates, my work colleague, who was with me. A few of you met him. It was a blast. We couldn't have imagined having a better time. And OSU played great, won the game, and that was that. So off we go. Texas Tech. I'm sorry, but the entire conversation revolves around the quarterback and the play calling. I am not going to bash the defense because our defense is not designed to go out there and stuff somebody for 60 minutes. It's not going to happen. You've seen Big 12 teams play Bama and Georgia, okay? Did those defenses stuff somebody for 60 minutes? No. If an offense gets going, they wear them out, right? It takes a lot more energy to chase activity than it does to create activity, right? If you're chasing activity, you get way more worn out. So I'm not busting the defense. Look, would I've liked to have seen them made a couple more plays, maybe get a turnover or two more. They had ball hit them in the hands, sure. That defense did enough for Oklahoma State to win that game. Okay, and if the Oklahoma State offense is going to leave the Oklahoma State defense out there for that many plays, and you give the opponent that many opportunities to get it figured out, they figure it out. all right, and they're going to score some points. And let's just put it this way. If Oklahoma's defense or offense wasn't so stinking anemic, I mean, and that's anemic. They scored, what, 30, 31 points? They were anemic. Let's just don't know. 34 points. Sorry, 34 points they scored. And that's 35, and that's anemic. Sorry, that's anemic. With how many possessions they had, how many wasted, possessions they had. I mean, they could have scored 60 points, all right, and that would have been enough to win the game. So I don't want to hear any nonsense about get rid of that. That defense did enough. If OSU had started out staying on the field, scoring some, that'd have been a whole different story. So I'm going to talk briefly about the play calling. It's going to lead into this whole quarterback thing. Okay. The play calling has been really vanilla. Okay. Milli Vanilli play calling. They did roll out a few kind of wild looking formations, but again, if you, the other thing too was the unwillingness, which I think plays into the other point, plays into the quarterback point. The unwillingness to make adjustments. I'm telling you, I would have been making adjustments after the first two series. Okay? After the series number 1, I would have been talking as a coach. I'd have been talking to somebody, say, what can we do? What can we tweak here? What can we tweak? They've obviously got something figured out. We're having a little trouble dealing with it. What could we do to get them off balance? OSU didn't run one frigging trick play at all. Nothing. Okay? Nothing. I mean, did they run any kind of reverse? I don't know. Did they run one reverse? I think they might have. But I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning of the football season. When Mike Gundy said, we have two quarterbacks, both of whom we think we can win football games with. Okay? Clearly they made the choice to play Sanders. All right, and don't tell me about running the football and all that nonsense. They made the choice to play Sanders because he is the future of the program. Drew Brown is a one and done. Okay. But from all reports, there was no separation between the two. Okay. Yes, Sanders has a live arm, but he has a live arm that he can throw to two people, maybe three, and they're for the most part his first reads. Right? Towards the end of the game, he started to find secondary guys when he was scrambling. You've got to get him to find secondary guys while he's in the pocket. I mean, but anyway, I'm going to go back to this. So, hey, we got two quarterbacks we think we can win with. Okay. And we're playing quarterback number 1, but, we just can't roll out the whole playbook because he can only digest so much. Okay. So a couple of things that came out on Twitter since then. Somebody typed out Bobby Reed 2.0. No. This isn't even close. This kid's got talent. He clearly cannot process the offense quickly enough. Okay? Clearly. He needs time. Okay? So this is not this kid looks the part, okay? I remember watching Bobby Reed, and then if Zach Robinson came in the game, I remember being on the phone with my brother, okay? And when Zach Robinson came in the game, I would say to him, they look completely different when he's in the game. This kid looks different, right? He looks like he's going to make something happen. Sanders looks like he has it. Like he's got the tools. He's got the arm. He can be accurate. They'll work with him. Again, he's a red shirt freshman, okay, who hadn't played in a live action football game in way over a year. Going on 2 years. Okay, 2 years since he's played in almost, they say a year and a half since he's played in live action football. Okay, and he's playing at a level that he's never played at. So just this Bobby Reed 2.0 nonsense, go away with that. This kid's got infinitely more talent than Bobby Reed had. All right. A lot of people going, well, see there, that's why he should have played some last year. And I'm going to temper that a little bit. I've seen two kind of responses on Twitter. No, he shouldn't. Taylor Cornelius needed the snaps. And that it wouldn't have really mattered. Tell you what, every snap counts. Okay, every play they run in a live game counts. Here's why, and I'm going to relate it to my son's soccer. He's playing in travel soccer. There's a program called Quality Touch, and so he's playing, and they don't care in the off season what necessarily he's doing as long as he's touching a soccer ball. They care about touches. How much is he touching a soccer ball? Well, to me, football, how much is he playing? Okay. How many plays? Okay. So many plays in a game, so many games a year. Gundy talks about it being, 15 games in, it starts to, slow down a little bit for you. Sanders could have gotten maybe close to a game's worth of, maybe half of a game of experience last year, which I think could have had a much greater impact going into this season. And I'm telling you, the last half of a fourth quarter in some of those games, please, you can't tell me that wouldn't have had some impact on this kid. That being said, because that's all in the past now and I don't care about it. We're talking about now. That being said, I thought the object was to win football games. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but did Gundy play last year? This is what he's doing. Like, you want to do this? Gundy played last year in order to get to 2 years from then? Is that what he's doing? Because you had to know, you held him out last year. You had to know this year would be, just kind of would be whatever you would get if you were going to play him. You have a quarterback sitting on your bench who understands the speed of the game doesn't bother him. Okay? Speed of the game doesn't bother him. That dude's a senior. He's played in the offense that pitches the ball around. Okay? He's used to finding his second and third receivers. There's no reason why Gundy couldn't have yanked him at half, said, Spencer, you're our guy. You're not going anywhere. This guy's coming in because we're trying to win a football game. Okay? Watch. Let's learn. Let's keep moving forward. You're still the starter, dude. You're still the starter. Okay? So the only thing that I can think of here, there's two things. One, they were full of crap about Drew Brown, and we've seen him in a game, and I think that's baloney. The guy can throw the football enough. He was a starter at Hawaii. Come on. The guy, he's capable of playing. The second thing, which could be likely, okay, could be that is he giving Drew Brown, like hang out and wait? We're not going to use up your eligibility. And you could walk away from here next year with you could go somewhere else because Spencer's going to be our guy type of thing. I mean, I don't get it. How long is the guy going to wait around and not play? Seriously. He's clearly capable of playing. And I just don't understand. I don't understand the way they go at this. I'm tired of the long game nonsense, okay? Tired of the long game nonsense, right? Mike Boynton ain't into the long game. Mike Boynton is in, we're playing hard now because we want to win now. Now they understand they might not win now because of talent, but we're going to work like we're going to win now. And I just don't understand, man. I don't understand. So what if you play Drew Brown in a couple of games this year because Spencer is showing his redshirt freshman, mistake-prone ability, which is okay. I'm okay with it. But the kid had 5 turnovers Saturday. 5. I'm going to tell you right now, you got a week off, okay? If Spencer Sanders, either if the offense looks anemic again because you can't run stuff because he can't digest it, or if he jumps out of the gate with a couple of turnovers, especially interceptions, I'm telling you right now, if you don't see Drew Brown in the game, I mean, Gundy's your man. Don't get me wrong. Look, Gundy's the guy. He has earned his right to do this, okay? He's the man, but he's also earned the right to get to listen to it from fans. And if you're that level of coach, you can't tell me that you can't take your redshirt freshman out who you've clearly laid the red carpet down in front of, say, buddy, today's not your day. We got a guy sitting here who can help us out, okay? And you're the man. You're the starter next week. Don't sweat it. Don't worry about it. This guy's a one and done. You are the guy, okay? You're going to be the starter. Keep working at it. You're going to get the starter's reps. Keep working at it, all right? This is a growing, a learning experience. You might not be the man this year, right? But in 2 years, you could be the man, okay? So it's a process. There's no way you can't tell me you can't teach that kid that. While at the same time, bringing in a guy you got sitting on the bench who might be capable of righting the ship and winning a game that you had no business losing. Don't even begin to tell me that Oklahoma State wasn't the more talented team down there. All right? Now, Texas Tech was the team that wanted it more, and it's hard to overcome. You lost by 10 points with 5 turnovers from your most important player, your quarterback. Okay? You can't tell me that Oklahoma State doesn't win that football game, and probably fairly easily if you only had 2 turnovers. Okay? So, and even still, they had a chance. Like, believe it or not, they had the opportunity coming down to the end. They had an opportunity to make a go of it, right? I just, it just boggles my mind. I really would like to just be a fly on the wall of what's going on in in the coaching rooms, because Sean Gleason clearly has stuff to put on the table that they're not putting on the table because the quarterback can't handle it yet, and because Gundy, I mean, you're running on 3rd and long in a game where you're down. Come on, come on. No, no. I mean, that's I just come on. What are you doing? What are you doing? So either he's promised Brown, I mean, what are they one and done with the grad transfer thing? Like he can't transfer again, right? I don't know. Anybody got that answer? Can he transfer again? I don't know. After this year, if he still has eligibility, or is he kind of stuck? Right? Is he stuck here? I mean, if that's the case, then it's criminal what Gundy's doing. That's criminal. Please, that's criminal. Shit is criminal. You got a guy sitting on your bench, more than capable of playing, and coming in a situation like that where the guy you've anointed, and I'm okay with it, he's the guy, and I think he's got the ability. It's in him. It's in him, but it's going to take time to unlock it, right? It's going to take time to unlock it, right? And that's why you got Drew Brown there, so that he could come in a moment like that and maybe turn things around and win the game. And let me tell you something, if Drew Brown turned it around and won the game, I would have absolutely no problem with Spencer Sanders starting the next game. Okay? Would have no problem with it. All right? And I would have no problem if Drew Brown started the next game. And you said, I mean, and bring Spencer in some of the, I don't care. The kid is wired right. And if you're coaching that correctly, you can manage that his mental state, okay? We did not anticipate him coming out and being the next whatever at Oklahoma State this year. Nobody did. But you had Drew Brown sitting on the bench who could have righted that ship. You had plenty of time at halftime to really do something different. Oh, and you can't because you can only digest so much, and we can't make adjustments because Gundy wants to run the ball because your freshman quarterback might make a mistake. You know how stupid that sounds? When you got a guy sitting on the bench who's more than capable of airing it out in a game where you needed to air it out. God. Anyway, so that's enough of that. I mean, I think it's going to be fascinating to see what happens. And I'll tell you right now, if Gundy sticks his foot in the ground over this whole deal, we're going to be in that situation we've been in last year, where hey, I don't know if we'll get bowl eligible, right? Because there's only one game left on the schedule that you could look at and go, all right, well, we should win that game, and that's Kansas. And I only say that because it's at home. Okay. So let's bring the schedule. I mean, honest to God, you look at that schedule. Baylor, you think you're going to run Baylor out of Stillwater? Something's got it. You can't be turning the ball over, and you need a little more offense going on. All right. You think you're running Iowa State out of the joint? All right. West Virginia's going to be a handful in Morgantown. I mean, oh, and what? Yeah, OU, please. OU will beat us 60 to friggin' whatever. And I apologize, folks. I fumbled up the stream, obviously. I forgot to hit the go live button over here. I'm technically challenged today. Half of it was because I was just too eager to start ranting about all of this. So let's talk a little bit about the upcoming weekend. Pretty nice slate of games with, Iowa State, West Virginia could be interesting. But Texas Tech Baylor is going to be interesting. And if only for the reason to see, if Oklahoma State's got something to worry about, which I think they do, going into 4 p.m. kickoff for homecoming. I'm glad we've got 2 weeks off, man. So Iowa State, West Virginia is 4 o'clock. We got 2 4 o'clock games and a noon game. So I'm going to talk about the afternoons first. Iowa State at West Virginia. West Virginia played admirably. Their offense is definitely not there, but they played admirably against Texas. Texas helped them out, kind of like they did against Oklahoma State. Iowa State's favored by 9.5. It might be a little high at West Virginia, but I think Iowa State wins that game by at least a touchdown. I think a touchdown's a good number. Yeah, they might win by 10. Don't see any over-unders yet. Those haven't been set, I guess. At least they're not showing up on ESPN. You got Texas Tech at Baylor. Baylor favored by 10. And you watch Baylor just lather them up. And then we're all going to be going, oh, no, for homecoming. Lordy, lordy, lordy. Lordy. I don't know, man. And then you got the Red River Shootout. That's right, I call it the shootout. I'll get thrown in the trash for that. You have at the Cotton Bowl, undefeated Oklahoma, ranked number 6 against number 11 Texas, who didn't move up. Okay, interestingly enough. So this is not a match against 2 top 10 teams. OU favored by 10.5. I tell you what, I don't think OU blows them out. Texas got too good of offense. Both teams are a little banged up, especially OU's offensive line. They're both starting offensive tackles are out. I think this is capable of being a pretty competitive football game. But man, I tell you, OU's offense, I don't know, against Texas defense, I just think they score more points. And whatever the over-under is, if that over-under is under 80 points, I'm taking the over. No question. I'd stay away from that line. That line feels like it could be about right. But I would stay away from that line. If the over-under is less than 80, I'm taking the over. All day on that. So I think that's going to be a good game. That's a noon kickoff Eastern time. The other 2 games, 4 o'clock Eastern time kickoffs. So it's a good slate. It's not a big slate, but it's a decent enough slate. Games that I think will provide some intrigue going forward in the season. So that's kind of it. Again, y'all get off the defense, man. They did enough for OSU to win the game. I got no problem with what the defense did. They got worn out. Sanders is not Bobby Reed 2.0 by any stretch of the imagination. But if he continues to have turnover issues, and you don't see Drew Brown and you don't see the offense beginning to make quicker adjustments, then I'll be yelling at Gundy for the rest of the season, and he deserves it, right? And he's not going anywhere. He's the man. He's there till whenever. But come on now, you gotta every season if you have the opportunity to win, you win because that helps your program. Okay, you go fumbling, stumbling around with this crap, that impacts your recruiting, etc. So come on, Gundy, shake that crap loose. I don't want to hear any more about you don't know how they're going to play, or maybe I worked them too hard, or he can only process so much. You got a guy sitting there who can process. All right, who would be capable of interjecting something into something, and you could do it in a way that you could keep your redshirt freshman's ego in the place it needs to be in, and maybe win football games. All right, that's it. I'm out. I'm gonna try to ignore it as much as possible now for the next week because I need it. Need the relief. If anybody's traveling to other games, travel safe. Be good. We'll see you a week from now to talk about Oklahoma State homecoming hosting Baylor. Go Pokes.